Mild as we go through our 10 o'clock hour around southern Colorado. We look from 8th Street and Abbott Lane with our camera just around the corner from our KRDO News Channel 13 studios. 48 degrees the current temperature. Winds out of the northwest and still pretty light at this hour. As we head down to Pueblo with our Pueblo Chieftain camera, 6th Street and Midtown Circle. Winds out of the north-northeast at 12 here. 68 degrees was the temperature earlier on this afternoon. It has since dropped off into the upper 40s and lower 50s. Live HD Doppler radar zooming in on El Paso and Teller counties. A lot of what you see here is not hitting the ground. It is false, but there are some real showers further off to the west, as we showed you during the early weather just a few minutes ago. Skycast is going to continue to paint those showers. In this case, it's snow over towards the higher elevations and rain as you head further off to the east as the rain and snow continues to push its way into and through the region as we go through our Sunday morning into our Sunday afternoon. Notice that by the time we get into our noon hour, as we're heading home from our late morning, early afternoon plans, we're going to continue to see that rain mainly off to the south of the Springs and in the Springs itself, on the north end of town in particular. And as you head up towards the Monument Hill and up towards Monument itself and the Palmer Divide, we're going to continue to see that rain change over to snow as that cold air makes its way into the region, drives those temperatures down. That will change that rain over to snow as we go through the morning into the afternoon. Pushing it further ahead now into Sunday 9 o'clock. The bulk of the precipitation by this point along and to the west of I-25 is falling in the wintry form. Meanwhile, in the southeastern plains, we're going to continue to see it fall as rain, as temperatures here are going to be much warmer than they will be as you head over towards that I-25 corridor and points westward towards the Continental Divide. As we go through our Monday evening, another band, a heavy band according to Skycast, setting up just off to the west of Alamosa and over into the western portion of the state. What's causing all this? A front is getting ready to make its way through the region as we go through our Sunday and into our Monday. For now, warm air is in charge of things as we go into our early Sunday afternoon, and then the front comes zipping on through the area. It takes off to the southeast. That brings the much cooler air into the region behind this low pressure center, and this will cause more severe weather like we saw earlier on today and over the last several days in the central portion of the country as that front continues to push its way off to the east at a pretty rapid clip. Snow Tracker is going to call for temperatures to drop off, and that means that rain will change over to snow. Snow Tracker is calling for an inch or so in Monument and also at Glen Eagle, and heavier totals as you head into the western portion of El Paso County. Into Teller County we go. The models have been backing off a shade in terms of the amount of snow that they're predicting. Still, though, widespread areas of half a foot or more in places like Mueller State Park and towards the Divide. Snow Tracker is going to also call for some snow over towards the Continental Divide as you head over towards Westcliff and just off to the west of Wetmore. But here we had a 1 to 3 inch bullseye between Wetmore and Westcliff, and that has gone away. Still, though, there will be some snow in that area, which tends to pick up snow and when we have storm systems like we're seeing here. Snow Tracker is not going to call for a whole bunch of snow in the southeastern plains because the bulk of your precipitation will be in the rain form. Wind speeds are also going to be an issue as we go through our Sunday afternoon into our Sunday evening. Sustained winds sitting between 15 and 25 miles per hour. Picking up even further as we go into our Sunday afternoon and Sunday evening, near 30 miles per hour on a widespread basis. And so this will blow some of that newly fallen snow around. Fortunately enough, it's not January. Else we'd be talking about drifting as well. But in this case, we're just talking about some blowing of that snow that's going to be coming out of the skies, and our wind speeds are going to continue to be on the high side all the way through our Monday afternoon commute as well. That means travel impact is going to be significant. Hazardous travel between the Springs and Buena Vista on Highway 24. Moderate impact between Pueblo and Lamar for some blowing dust and some rain that'll be falling for you. And very heavy impacts between the Springs and Denver along Interstate 25. Highs tomorrow, much different than they were for this afternoon. Remember those highs that we showed you before the break, sitting in the 70s and 80s? No more of that, except in the southeastern plains. 48 at the Springs, 58 in Pueblo, 30s and 40s in the mountains, 38 in Salida, 53 in Canyon City. Somewhat protected in Alamosa and the San Luis Valley. You're going to be warmer than everyone else in the mountain areas as you're sitting at 61. Spring 7-day forecast, high temperatures drop back into the lower 40s by Monday, which is closer to our average low to this point in the year than it is to our average high. Then we see the readings rebound to the lower 70s by Friday and Saturday after lows drop to below the freezing for a couple of mornings running in the Springs. Pueblo, your 7-day forecast also calls for much cooler temperatures, not surprisingly. And highs rebound to the middle 70s after a good chance for rain and snow over the next day or so, and then a smaller chance on Monday than it will be for tomorrow. Canyon City, your 7-day forecast, your high temperatures middle 40s. A couple of days, 3 days of freezing or sub-freezing temperatures temperatures, Jonathan and Katie, which is bad news for our friends out in the plains. There will be frost and freeze advisories almost guaranteed for those areas as we go through our Monday morning. That'll also stretch its way to the north towards the Springs and towards Pueblo as well. Talbot County 7-day forecast, high temperatures for you, middle 30s on Monday. Good chance for rain and snow. Good accumulations for our friends up in Woodland Park. And above that, another coating of white on top of Pikes Peak, which is going to see a lot of snow.
Well, at least we're not dealing